miss about your home country?
Well, besides family, the food. Definitely the food. I'm French, so the food, the wine, yeah, of course. Yeah, especially these days when I'm on the boat and basically everything I eat comes from a can. I would like die for a croissant and a bottle of wine right now.
People, how do you keep your audience engaged? Like, how do you stay close to your audience?
Well, I think the first, well, at least the way we do it is that we always make sure that our stream is a full-time conversation. So like some streamers will do their thing and the chat would kind of do their thing on the side, reacting to it, and there is not really an interaction. For us, we make sure that we have a constant conversation. We try to answer everyone. We have a lot of viewers, but we try to keep the conversation running. Often helps that there is the two of us. So we often have like two different conversations going, with Tallulah answering some people, me answering some people. It's kind of messy and noisy, but I think that's what really keeps people engaged, because they feel like someone is listening to them. And yeah, they feel like it's interactive. And I think interactivity is really, really important on Twitch for sure.
For anybody watching that's trying to grow their audience, do you have any tips? Anything work for you that you think might help others?
Definitely. Well, the main one, the first one, I think is always coming back when you talk about Twitch and live streaming, but consistency, being consistent is the key on Twitch. It doesn't matter if you can only stream 1 hour a week, it doesn't matter, as long as it's always the same hour, always at the same time, and you can make sure that you're always there when people expect you. There is nothing more frustrating than just not knowing when someone is going to be live. You're never going to grow if people cannot find you. If you're live from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. every Saturday, you will grow an audience. So that's the first tip. The second one will be, do your thing. Don't try to imitate anyone else. Find your niche. Even if your niche is the weirdest, most specific things, like, I don't know, you like to go in the forest and do bird watching in the forest. You will find other people that have an amazing passion for that, and that will watch you. And because you're passionate, watching you is going to be amazing. So I think, yeah, don't try to be someone else. Just show what you love. That's always going to work. Passion always works.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, for how many people I've watched that are just doing something that I had no idea I was interested in, but they make it interesting. They're doing it, like they're loving it. Like, all right, let's do it. So no, I think that's great advice. Create content for any other platforms, or are you solely on Twitch?
No, we're of course we have like Twitter, Instagram, but we don't really do it. First, because we don't have time, and also because we feel like a platform like YouTube, you cannot just edit your VOD and put it on YouTube. I think YouTube has its own code, and for me at least, you put YouTube content on YouTube and you put Twitch content on Twitch. So we don't have the time that it takes to actually do proper YouTube content, and we don't want to just have like, oh look, just quick edit of what we do on Twitch. So right. Because we cannot do it well, for now we're not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and Twitch has such its own culture to such a large degree. Like you sort of, I mean, yes. You're trying to be on, Facebook Live and YouTube and Twitch and stuff. You're sort of not hitting the culture on any of them. So I think that's probably a good call. I know there's a lot of people are torn between like, should I try to be on everything? And I know there's services that kind of make that easy. But yeah, that's.
Sometimes it's nice to focus your own energy on one thing. It's better to do one thing great than be a little bit everywhere.
Absolutely. That I always think, especially when there's, a group of people or like you guys, a pair, watching IRL stuff, I'm wondering, if 5 years down the road, we're really going to kind of have a good grasp on how to convey people's different perspectives. I think, and how do you pick? Like, you basically, do you always have the camera? Like, is it always from your perspective for the most part? Like when you guys are traveling around?
Oh, between me and Tallulah.
Yeah.
Well, we really have a dynamic. I think if the best way to put it is, I'm the director, she's the host. So
right.
We're using a DSLR camera because I don't, many streamers, they have a camera on their shoulder and they don't really, they just film where they're looking. Me, I try to really direct the show. I want to have a good camera angle. I want to make sure that it looks great. So Tallulah is the smile and the energy of the stream, and I am more the one who is trying to give it that cool, travel-y, almost vlog-like aesthetic.
Right. No, and you definitely hit that. That's awesome. Yeah, I keep wondering if as the setups get cheaper and as connectivity gets better, if there will be a sort of a way to kind of be able to have multiple people basically stream to one stream and kind of say, I have the shot, give me control, and then really make that good. I think that could be cool. But we'll see.
That's what we have now on the boat. We have a studio with multiple camera, and just with that thing, I can just press a button and we're at the front of the boat, we're inside the cockpit, so we're not that far from that. I think it's going to become more and more like TV-like, I'm sure.
Exactly. I think I think we can get there. So that's cool. I'm excited. I mean, I think the whole IRL space is really cool. I think the things that, going back to, Justin TV and early days of the backpack and stuff to where we are now, it's so cool.
It's actually interesting that it kind of went back in circle, because that's what Justin TV was doing. Then it moved to Twitch being video game, and then just went back full circle to actually what Justin created in the first place.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it's a really cool space.
For everything we do, the heart of everything we do is we have a LiveU setup. So many people use the LiveU Solo. We're using a bigger version of that called the LU 600. And because it has a HDMI input, you can just plug whatever you want in it as long as it's HDMI. So what we plug in it is a diving drone. So we have it's exactly like a flying drone, except it goes on the water. It's a big drone. And the way we do it is that one of us is in the water, because I think having someone on camera makes the whole difference. If I just send the drone, it's cool. But if there is someone in the water with the drone, then it's really streaming, because you need a host. It's streaming. You have to have someone. And then me, I usually stay on the boat and I give live commentary. And because we're a dive instructor, I can actually really explain what we're seeing. It's when we do it on the boat, when we do diving streaming, the mess on the boat is amazing. Like, there is cables running everywhere, because the drone, of course, is attached to a cable, and it's really messy. But overall, it's a pretty simple setup. The LiveU, HDMI plug-in, and a cable that goes in the water.
When you're off the boat, when you're walking through town, do you bring that LiveU with you? What's your setup there? What's your...
So overall, I would say we have like 4 or 5 different backpack configuration that you adapt depending on the situation. To give you a really concrete example, today I did a navigation with the boat. So boat setup is the big LiveU, antennas plug into it, so I have connections at sea. Then I arrive in a pier and I want to go to land, so I want to take my little rowing boat to go to land. Obviously, I'm not going to take my big expensive LiveU, so I moved to a small LiveU, a LiveU Solo, that still, a piece of equipment, but you can replace that. And I made what you call a normal streaming backpack, so I could go on land with that. But then it really depends. We did a streaming in the jungle 1 year ago, where we knew there was no connection. So in that case, we took the big LiveU, plugged 2 antennas on my back, because with the big LiveU you can put antennas, and we managed to have stream in the jungle. So I think, but that's always an interesting thing with stream. There is not one configuration. The configuration should be change and tweak depending on the content.
Camera do you use either on the boat or when you're on the go? What are your cameras?
So we have that. We use the Sony camera for like when I'm on the boat. I have that on my shoulder because it can get wet. It doesn't matter. And then we have a mirrorless, like big interchangeable lens Olympus camera for most of the shots, most of the rest of the shots. And we move between those two. Nice.
So what software do you use to stream? Is it just the LiveU, or like is there software that you depend on?
No, we have the LiveU. Of course, we use Stream Elements as well for notifications and everything. And then we have a server that does the bridge between the LiveU and Twitch called RL Toolkit. And that's basically OBS in the cloud. We'll say that if you're a new streamer and you want to stream RL, don't go straight to the backpack. Start phone streaming. Backpack is good, but it's costly. It's a lot of tech, and there is so much you can do with just a phone. Then you can actually add something like Speedify that will make your phone plus. And then maybe you can think about upgrading to a new kind of equipment. But don't try to use something so big just because you see big streamer using it. It might not be for you. Try small, go your way up.
Yeah. I think finding your voice and finding your audience and sort of finding your niche and things, you can do all that with a phone, I think, absolutely, and grow from there. But
thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Speedify content and tutorials.